My name is Teacher Evelyn and I work for VIPKID. I wanted to make a video talking to you about when you can't see your student or you can't hear your student. What do you do? I wanted to share some personal experiences and a little piece of a conversation I had at my recent VIPKID Christmas sweater meetup. So what sparked the idea for this video is a conversation that I had. We were talking at the table, a bunch of us teachers. It's so much fun to connect with your coworkers when you work online. Most of the time you feel like you work alone. But it was nice to talk to other teachers and get their experiences. So one teacher said, have you guys ever experienced a student who's purposefully and intentionally turning off their camera? And it made me think, how do you know that they're turning off their camera? You know, sometimes we'll have ornery students and sometimes it'll be a little bit obvious that they're doing it, but for the most part, it's pretty hard to tell whether they're having connectivity issues, whether something's going on, or if they push the button. But that's okay. I just listened to her and she said what she did was she just sat there in silence. And when he wanted her to speak, she said, I need to see you. There's a time and a place to do that when you're in dire need. But I think that there are a few things you can do before you get to that point because it's a waste of class time. And our class time is precious. The parents pay a lot of money for this class time. We shouldn't be spending time sitting in silence. But I get that. I get that when a student's disobeying, that can be difficult. I have a video about how to deal with naughty students. Now, for me, a punishment, I wouldn't spend a lot of time sitting quietly, even if the camera's off. Me personally, I continue teaching. I'm on a timed schedule. I've got to get to my next class. I've got to teach these slides in time. And, you know, if he's not obeying now, he can always watch the playback and learn from that. Also, I don't want low Apple rating from parents that are going to be livid that they paid so much money for me to sit in silence. Like, that's not a good idea. But I understand if your student's misbehaving, that can be frustrating. So, but I also shared an experience that was eye-opening to her. And so I thought, I haven't shared that on YouTube yet. Maybe I should let you all know. One time recently, I would say over a month ago, I had a student that I couldn't see them. So what I did is what I always do. I clicked the fireman button. I can't see my student. And I continued teaching. And the fireman said, everything looks okay to me. And I said, I can't see my student. Their camera is off. And the fireman says, we can see the student. Try refreshing the classroom or switching lines. So I refreshed the classroom. And I don't remember if I switched lines that time, but ever since then, whenever my student's camera turns off, if it's like a full minute, I continue teaching. As long as I can hear them and I can see their name that they're in the classroom, I continue teaching because they can always watch the playback. And you never know. It's better to see no student than to see like nudity or something. So if they're on the toilet taking class, maybe they want to turn their camera off. I don't know. But I saw at the beginning of the class that I'm teaching a child. I'm not teaching some weirdo. I'm just teaching my student and their camera may or may not be functioning. So as long as I can hear them, we're good. So that was eye-opening to me that the fireman could see my student and I could not. I don't know if that's a new thing or if it's always been that way, but it's new to me to experience that. So I refreshed the classroom. I could see my student again. And if all else fails, switch lines. But it's better not to switch lines because sometimes the playback will only have the playback from one of the lines, not from the other. It's like a glitch. I don't know if it's fixed yet, but I've read just on Facebook some teachers saying like, when the firemen switch the lines, the rest of the playback's not there, so there's no proof that I taught the rest of the class. So I try to avoid switching lines, but I've noticed that line 1 works a lot better than line 6 for me. I have a Chromebook. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but for me, line 1 always works better than line 6. But lately I've been having success with line 6. Anyway, if you don't teach VIPKID, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. So then I asked the table of teachers, I said, have you ever had sound issues that were comical? I think maybe one time a long time ago, I might have shared this story with you guys. This happened when I was about 3 or 4 months in with VIPKID, and it's honestly a hysterical story. I might have to dig out that playback. I don't know where it is, but I was teaching a trial. I was a generally new teacher a few months in, and this little girl was maybe like 5 years old, and she was in the shadows, so you could, like, you know, her eyes were kind of shadowed or whatever. That's normal if they don't have good lighting. But the issue was her sound. She was this precious little girl, but she had a sound problem that garbled her voice and made her sound demonic. And this was funny to me because I felt like I was getting pranked. It was so bizarre teaching like this, and I kid you not, I would be like, hey! And this precious little 5-year-old Chinese girl in the shadows would say, hey! And so at that time, I contacted the firemen, and I said, I can't hear my student. And they said, hello, teacher, how can we help you? And I said, can you hear the sound problem with my student? And they said, yeah, we can hear the problem, but we can't fix it. Do you mind teaching? Can you keep teaching the whole class? And I said, that's fine. So I taught an entire trial class, trying to keep a straight face, trying not to be totally freaked out. I honestly, honest to goodness, I half expected her eyes to start glowing red with the way that she was speaking. I seriously felt like I was being pranked. I'm like, what? I was like, hello, nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. You know, was how the girl, it was awful. Anyway, sometimes when we have sound issues or vision issues, we're still asked to continue to teach. And you know what? You're still earning your paycheck. They're still paying the money, so you might as well. And they can always watch the playback. And yeah. But the important thing is that you can hear. Like, I've had issues in the past when they were just coming out with a new kind of classroom. That's now the old kind of classroom. When that was first coming out, the platforms changing from one to the next, when I was switching from one classroom to the next, it would mess with my sound, and I would always have to restart my computer. So I would always try to, before all of my classes, I would load all of my classrooms ahead of time, and I still do. Before teaching my first class, I load all of my other classes. I don't keep the tab open because they can hear you. I don't know if you knew that. I said that in one video once before, but if you keep the tab open and you're in the classroom under the tabs, they all can hear you. All of them can hear you, but only the one that you have clicked open camera can see you. But still, you don't want to do that. And one teacher shared a story that she was still in her last classroom and she was beginning her next classroom. She had like a teenage boy that was yelling cuss words just because he thought it was funny, and she was afraid that her sweet little student in the next class could hear it. And I'm not sure because it's in her headphones, so maybe only she could hear it, but it might have reached the microphone so that the other classroom could hear it. It's bizarre. So anyway, yeah, with sound, you want your sound working, you want your student to be able to hear you. You would like to see your student. You need to see your student at least at the beginning. I had one trial that I taught. The beginning, his camera was flickering. So I saw that he was there. We had conversation. Our sound was fine. I taught the full class all the way to the end. Most of the class, I could not see him, but his camera flickered in and out. After teaching the full class, it got marked student no-show. That means I got half pay for teaching a full class, so that was annoying. So make sure you get the firemen involved if you're having any major tech issues. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. If you have a student that you suspect is turning off the camera, write a message to the LP at the very bottom of your feedback. You can always mention it to mom and dad say I noticed the camera was going in and out. I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional. You can request that a parent sit beside the student next time. Some parents don't mind too. Some parents might be at work during that time. So it just depends. Yeah. I hope this video was helpful for you. That's my 2 cents about when you can't see or hear your student. Oh, also, this is a fun prop. What this is I looked up online under Google Images. If you have no drawing artistic ability, you can just print it off on cardstock, laminate it, glue it to a popsicle stick, and call it good. I made this at a time when I didn't have a printer. All I had was my artistic ability. So I looked up on Google a picture of an icon of an ear, and I drew it onto foam with Sharpie, and I hot glued it to a popsicle stick. I can't take credit for this because I saw a teacher online said on Facebook props group, I think, back when I was brand new. She said, oh, having this ear on a popsicle stick, she had a printout. Having the ear on the popsicle stick is like the best prop ever. So it's a lot of fun when we're talking about hearing or ears or can you hear me? Sometimes I use this. Or if a student's reading long passages, sometimes I've used it. It's just kind of comical and funny to see. It's just an extra big pink ear. All right. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you would go ahead and click like, and if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Every 100 subscribers, I'm having a raffle. I'm currently at 125 subscribers. That's exciting. I started a raffle. Click on over to that video and comment on it. Make sure you've liked and subscribed, so that you can be entered into the raffle. You need to comment on the video of the raffle. If you can't find it, just look up Evelyn Joy Raffle. Because once I hit 100 subscribers, I started the raffle on Christmas, December 25th. I'm going to put all of the names of people who commented. I'm going to put it into a hat, make a video, draw a name out, and they will be winning a Dino mouse pad. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be auctioning off a brand new dino still in the package. Not this one. This one's my old and worn, well-loved one. But I bought one with my tokens. It's coming soon in the mail, and I'm going to save it for when I reach 1,000 subscribers, whenever that will be. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.